Yo folks, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're covering February upcoming Gacha. Pretty exciting month with some surprise releases. Let's jump right to this. First things big is Crunchyroll presenting a Street Fighter Duel. So this is going to be an auto RPG in case you guys played anything like that. If you don't know what it means, essentially you have your units on the board and they attack for you, select some skills as the gameplay is going. It's going to be more tactical, not as Street Fighter-y as some people would know. But just know it's going to have the Street Fighter IP. Crunchyroll tends to rapid release their games, so you're definitely not going to see too much marketing. I think it's going to be a niche hit and, just something fun to bide your time as we wait for the big one, Honkai Star Rail. The CBT is happening February 10th. In case you're wondering where I got that info, it's going to be on the FAQ. It's going to be starting February 10th, 1000 UTC +8. Now, one thing to note, the Honkai Star Rail is going to be releasing the Shanzhou Lufo area. I think that's how you say it. Not correct me down in the comments. There's also going to be the Fu Xuan character. There's going to be a waifu of sorts. Reminds me a lot of a mix between like Ayaka from Genshin, Yai Fei, right? I think I'm saying that right. If anything, just let me know. All that matters is that there's going to be a bunch of new stuff in the CBTs. I'm going to be covering it. Hopefully, I am praying because, I got like the CBTs, like signups and all that stuff going forward. But I think it's going to be one of the biggest CBTs we're going to be having. It's going to be the final one for Honkai Star Rail. I want to put heavy emphasis for those participating. Definitely provide the feedback so we can provide the best possible game. It's definite releasing on 2023. Some people are saying, March 7th, but I'm not entirely sure. I think Honkai Star Rail takes a couple of months in order to churn and burn our feedback. That way we get the best possible product. But who knows? I'm really excited for this one, Honkai Star Rail. It's going to be the domineering one for this month, but the biggest releases, of course, is going to be Limbus Company. Why is that? Because it has an actual date for the end of this month. I think it's like February 27th or something like that, if I'm getting the dates right. All that matters, they talked about this stagger system, and there's also going to be passives. We've talked extensively about Limbus Company, and the reason why I want to hype it up is because I don't think this is going to be your typical gacha RPG. By that I mean there's going to be a lot of complicated mechanics, or you're going to get your butt kicked quite often in this one. And I think what makes Limbus Company a little bit different from the others is the fact that there's not going to be an excessive amount of characters that you're going to be pulling for. There's going to be a lot of varieties. Your characters can kill each other. They can go berserk. A lot of the systems in place are more of like a unique RPG experience comparative to others where most gacha RPGs, they kind of hold your hand. They are more dependent on like the strongest heroes that are going to be available. But with Limbus Company, it's going to be more about strategic placement and when you use a certain characters at specific time frames. You're going to be bringing certain units in order to have more advantageous moments. And then, of course, you're going to have to be worrying about the berserker systems and the way you chain skills in order to maximize, the stagger system and when you can, have your units go in their insane ultimate modes. But Limbus Company, I'm really excited for this one. Big release of this month. I definitely recommend for you at least to give it, an hour worth of play or even more depending on how long it takes for you to get a grasp of this game. But Limbus Company is going to be the exciting one for this one and my favorite one, that is for sure. Next up, we have the Valiant Force 2. It's going to be a Southeast Asia launch. Just note you can play it on QApp or you can, download the iOS or APKs, whatever you need to do. Just note when things released on Southeast Asia, it's going to be in English. So February 16th, definitely look forward to it. It's going to be more of your tactical RPG in case you guys are wondering about the gameplay. And then we have Zold out that released this month a couple of days ago. I think it's definitely a fun one to play. A couple things to clear up with this one. This is not shut down in CN, its home region. It is shut down in JP. For those of you wondering like, hey, is this going to be something I can actually play and like have my time like properly well spent? Yeah, I think it is just because it's, still out in its home region. It's a pretty fun title. Next up, we have Maid and Master. It's going to be an idol battler. Why am I talking about this? Because the waifus are maids and nurses. That's really it. So in case you like that sort of scenario, definitely a fun one to check out. We also have the Fire Force that is out now. Kind of just released out of nowhere in JP regions. In case you guys are curious, a typical turn-based RPG. There's going to be 40 free pulls and all sorts of amazing things. So feel free to play this one in case that, tickles your fancy. We also have Niantic's NBA All World. So in case you're an NBA fan, this would be a fun one to check out. I'm not entirely sure if there's going to be gacha mechanics to it. It's going to be able to challenge LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, and all sorts of amazing NBA players on this one. So I definitely recommend, just checking it out in case you're an NBA fan. Like I said, you get to walk around and interact with other NBA fans or maybe Pokemon Go fans. Who knows? Is this a really cool way to enjoy the sport? That's for sure. We also have Iridescent World. I want to talk about this. It's a HoloLive fan game. And just know everyone can play it. It is in its betas right now. It's not like the most exciting gameplay, but in case you like HoloLive, I definitely think it's a fun one to play. Next up, we'll talk about the upcoming gacha that might be releasing in February, but we're not entirely sure. First up is going to be Tower of God. Pre-registers are open. They said it's going to be in February, so I'm holding them to it. Hopefully it releases. It's going to be a cool one, and it's going to be a surprise release in my opinion if it does happen. It's out in select regions, and it's going to be your typical idle RPG. We also have a Brotato. I think this is going to be one of the coolest Vampire Survivor Bullet Heaven style games. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend it. It's probably going to be free, or maybe it's going to cost like $1, $2. It's one of the funnest games. There's going to be gacha elements where there's randomizations in the weapons you pick up. I know there isn't waifus, but some of the best gameplay you can definitely have within Brotato. We also have BlazBlue Entropy Effect. This got a Steam page. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be releasing in February, but oh my gosh, this game looks so amazing, so crisp, so clean. The pixel art, everything about it, I love it. It's going to be more of a roguelike. I don't know if it's going to have gacha mechanics. There's going to be, I guess, your randomized features because of the roguelike, but one of the funnest games I've definitely seen within the month of February just to be talked about. And then we have Innocence. Now this just came out of pre-registers, like out of nowhere. There hasn't been too much marketing on it, and it's going to be Asobimo. I think that's how you say it, but it doesn't matter. All that you need to know, it might release in February. All we know is it's in pre-registers. It could be another just great surprise release. I played it before. I think it's a niche hit because it reminds me a lot of a standard fighting game with beat 'em up mechanics. So if you like beat 'em up style games, I definitely recommend it. It has an art style very similar to FGO, a summoning system insanely similar to FGO. Hopefully there were some improvements on it. The lore is based around gods. Just another exciting game that I want to talk about, and definitely worth to keep your eye on in case you just like beat 'em up style games. I won't say it's a typical RPG because it didn't really remind me of that when I played it. And then we have some more stuff that's just on my watch list that got announced. First up is Project Star. This is going to be an anime RPG that was brought to you by Studio B-Side, the people who gave us Counterside. If you know anything about Counterside, it looks a lot like Epic 7. A lot of people would say that. This game looks beautiful from what I can see so far, but we'll see. It's really early. I doubt we're going to see anything in 2023, maybe a betas at best, but it just looks really pretty, and the waifus, I definitely love them to pieces. We also have World Die Star Rhythm. It's going to be another rhythm-based mobile game in case you guys like that sort of thing. There's going to be a bunch of waifus and all sorts of things to collect. And we have Streamwalker Tribes. It's going to be a fun little pixel RPG that I wanted to take a look at. Just look at it. It's just really adorable. That's all the reason why I wanted to talk about it. Just caught my eye. Next, we'll talk about the gachas that I've been looking forward to. First up, Black Clover. It got a website with a bunch of different menus. That's the biggest things. So I think this is going to be releasing in the more middle, if not tail end of 2023. And one of the bigger releases, there hasn't been too much. There's been new calendars and everything. But I think this is definitely something to pay attention to with, the upgrades to the sites and stuff. And then we also have 70 Days Sin's Origin. Outside of it being announced a year ago, there's nothing much else. There's also Solo Leveling Arise. There's some gameplay I wanted to showcase. Just note, this was from the G-Star event that happened earlier, this year or 2022. Still, Solo Leveling is one of those games I've been really looking forward to. So hopefully more news rises during the Februarys. And then finally, we have upcoming global gacha games by U/Brain Smoker. Huge thank yous to them as always. There's gonna be a couple titles, but the biggest things, Limbus Company. But like I said, there's going to be surprise releases with Street Fighter Duel, maybe, and Innocence is going to be releasing this month as well. Honkai Star Rail is going to be domineering one, but of course, Limbus Company, the actual releases, the most definitive one. I hope it takes the whole entire spot February, even though it's coming at the tail end of the month. And of course, Harry Potter or Hogwarts Legacy is going to be releasing this month. For non-gacha console PC enthusiasts, I definitely recommend it. I'm going to be playing it. But a lot of my time is actually going to be focused on Honkai Star Rail. So hopefully you guys are excited because that is going to be a ton of fun. starting February 10th, and we'll talk about everything, the systems, the new areas, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of improvements because there always tends to be with like Hoyo versus Mihoyo style games. But anyways, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram if you want to see my adventures, IRL, and snowboarding, going to cons, and all that stuff. So if you enjoy that sort of thing, also let me know if you guys want a YouTube channel centered around that, just so you guys can know what I'm doing in case you guys are curious. But yeah, check out the gamer subs link down in the description. Always helps out the channel a bunch. But that is going to be February upcoming gacha. Thanks so much for watching. Have yourself a fantastic day once again, and see y'all.